Piratical pride is in a perilous position as we posit the playing of a plundiferous new game in this dexterific episode of Little Big Thumbs. Vesuvius Media is no stranger to the world of dexterity games. Their smash hit Catapult Feud is one of the best in the genre, and now they're back at it with a brand new pirate-themed game of ships flick-flap firing cannons at each other. And the name of that game is To Glory. The game is for 2 to 4 players ages 7 and up and should last about 30 minutes. In this video, we'll be offering an overview of how to play the game, as well as lending our perspective on what this game has to offer for both kids and adults. So, why don't we head out to sea and learn how to play this game? To set up a game of To Glory, players will first pick out their pirate color and gather all the items that match: their ship, captain, player card, and flag token. Each player places their ship on the matching corner of the board, with the captain looking out from the rear of the boat. Player cards and flag tokens will sit off to the side, with each captain's ability face up. The map tokens will be placed face down on each matching island space, and the tower is placed in the center space of the board. All coins and treasure chests can be kept nearby, and the start player will place the Kraken on any empty sea space. And at this point, we are all set up and ready to play To Glory. Glory points are the goal of this game, and they can be obtained in 2 ways: attacking other entities on the board, or successfully following the trail of a treasure map. How do we gain these glory points? Let's find out. Players have 5 actions to take and 3 action varieties available. We can either move our ship or the Kraken ahead 1 space in the direction it is currently facing. We can pivot our ship, the Kraken, or the tower 1 hex facing either to the left or right. Or we can explore an island adjacent to where our ship is located to collect a map token if we do not already have one. In addition to their 5 actions, players can also activate their captain's ability or, and this is the fun part, fire some cannons 1 time per turn. To do this, we can either use our own ship, the cannons of the center tower, or even the Kraken itself. Regardless of which entity is being used for the attack, there are 4 possible outcomes. We might miss our target entirely. We could deliver a glancing blow, which earns the attacking player 1 glory coin. We might land a cannonball cube right on the opposing entity, which earns 2 coins. Or we might land a direct hit on the captain of the ship, knocking them off of their own ship and claiming 3 coins as a reward. When obtaining a map token, a player will find either a destination island where that map's treasure can be found, or the curse of the Jolly Roger. If you find yourself cursed, your player card is flipped face down, and you temporarily lose your special ability. In true piratical fashion, the only way to decurse yourself is to give it to someone else. If a cursed player can successfully attack another ship, they have shed themselves of the dreaded curse, even if the target player is already cursed themselves. The good news is that being cursed twice doesn't offer any further negative effects. Being cursed once is punishment enough. If you end your turn adjacent to an island that matches the underside of your map token, that map token can be exchanged for a treasure chest. And once a player has earned 2 treasure chests, we play to the end of that round, and then the game comes to a conclusion. To determine a winner, we need to calculate our glory points. Each coin is worth 1 glory, and each treasure chest is worth 6. Whoever has the most points wins the game. And that's it for our overview of To Glory. Now, let's sharpen our swords and lean in with a deeper cut as we find out who this game might be for. So now that we know what this game is all about, let's take a moment to discuss who might get the most enjoyment out of this particular game. Two Glory has these two competing priorities. The first is to find those treasure maps and lead yourself to the valuable chests, and the second is to literally attack everything in sight. You can't really ignore the treasure hunting and expect to win this game, but because everyone is involved in that race to two chests, you also can't skip out on attacking every possible turn. It's a game that constantly encourages and rewards confrontation, and you probably know from that statement alone whether this game is going to be right for you. Now, because this is a Dexterific episode of Little Big Thumbs, we should take a moment to talk about that particular aspect of the game. The act of firing cannons is actually a skill that requires some practice, and because it takes some work to hone that skill, it's incredibly rewarding when an attack succeeds, especially if your cubes manage to land directly on your target, or even knock an opposing captain overboard. It doesn't have the instant gratification of Catapult Feud, but this game has a lot more going on mechanically around the dexterity aspect, and that means that those attack actions have the potential for big explosive moments, and as a lover of dexterity games, I live for big explosive moments. Now let's break things down by those little thumbs and big thumbs to see how this game floats for children and adults. The folks at Vesuvius Media have recommended this for players that are at least 7 years old, and I think that is a pretty accurate suggestion. Some of our games included both my 5 and 7-year-old daughters, and while the older one easily grasped the concepts of the game, the younger one did need to be on a team to remain focused from start to finish. I do expect that a group of kids who are already familiar with the game can probably be left unsupervised to play this game on their own, but I'm not sure I would trust the youngest of players with these gorgeous cardboard ships and really trust that they would come back undamaged. On the other side of the cursed coin, adults who love quick games with a little bit of chaotic energy are going to find a lot to love with Two Glory. Despite the destructive dexterity aspect, the only hidden information is what's underneath those map tiles. And if you do find yourself cursed, it's all the more reason to charge at another ship and fire as many cannons as you possibly can. While the game is super fun for 2, 3, or 4 players, at the higher player counts, we found some tighter sailing situations which results in almost constant attacks going on back and forth. I expected the confrontational character of the game to create some sour feelings in my kids, but there's just enough going on to keep everyone engaged, and honestly, we found ourselves having a good old time from start to finish. Seeing my Big Bean Harriet try to navigate her way to a treasure map destination was awesome, and while I absolutely enjoyed playing this game with adults, my favorite plays of the game were when there were both adults and kids at the table. For me, Two Glory really benefits from that youthful energy steering our ships through the deep waters of this delightful dexterity game. Two Glory is coming to Kickstarter in the spring of 2023, and there's no doubt in my mind that Vesuvius Media will have lots of treats and surprises in store for their Kickstarter backers. It really boils the tabletop experience of pirate play down to its most essential qualities, and it's almost guaranteed to bring smiles and laughter to family gaming tables as well as dedicated game groups everywhere, so long as they're okay with the playful chaos of dexterity games. Thank you to Vesuvius Media for letting us have a sneak peek at this game before it goes to Kickstarter, and as always, thank you for watching this video. And until next time, whether you've got little players or big players, make sure that you keep playing games that make your thumbs go way up. Bye for now.